TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken reaffirms at a Senate Foreign Affairs hearing that the United States will not concede to the Islamic Republic of Iran unless it returns into full compliance with the 2015 nuclear agreement. Russian President Vladimir Putin highlights the deepening of relations between Moscow and Ankara. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov concludes a visit to Saudi Arabia, during which Moscow's top diplomat offered Russia's assistance to help build Saudi Arabia's first nuclear power plant. The Czech Republic has followed through on its promise by inaugurating today a new embassy office in the capital of Israel, Jerusalem.
We are here because of the joyful event, and I am proud to announce to all of you that we, the Czech Republic, are opening here in Jerusalem, in the Washington Street, our diplomatic representation.
We are standing in the city center of Jerusalem, the capital city of the State of Israel. We are adding another stone to its wall with the opening of the embassy office of the Czech Republic. The opening of the embassy office of the Czech Republic in Israel represents additional proof of the depth and the scope of the friendship that we share with the Czech people and the Czech Republic and government.
In other news, the United States will not concede to the Islamic Republic of Iran unless it returns into full compliance with the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or JCPOA, which is the technical term for the commonly referred to 2015 nuclear agreement. In a first appearance by U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken before the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs since assuming his post, senators seized the opportunity to clarify the Biden administration's intentions and attain assurances vis-à-vis Iran, among other pressing foreign policy issues.
We're not in compliance with the JCPOA. Iran isn't in compliance with the JCPOA. The Iranian position is that we should make concessions to them just to get a meeting. It's my understanding that our position is that we should come into compliance only as they, or after they, come into compliance with the nuclear safeguards. Can you assure us that we're not going to make concessions just to get a meeting?
Sir, will you commit to me and to this committee that you will formally consult with us before lifting any sanctions on Iran?
Yeah, we're determined to consult on the takeoff, not on the landing, across the board. But yes, particularly when it comes to Iran, if there is any movement on this, and thus far there hasn't been, yes, we will do so. And by the way, not just Congress is the first stop, but also allies, partners, including allies and partners in the region who have their own concerns and own interests at stake.
Secretary Blinken went on to address the Biden administration's position regarding the 2015 nuclear deal, which he reaffirmed to be an agreement based on verification of Tehran's compliance rather than trust.
On its own terms, in terms of putting Iran's nuclear program in a box and cutting off its pathways to producing fissile material for a nuclear weapon on short order, it was succeeding. Our intelligence community said so, the international inspectors said so, and when we pulled out of the agreement, the Iranians then, of course, have a vote in this too, and have started to lift the constraints that were imposed on them by the agreement. As a result, we're now in a place where under the agreement, the so-called breakout time, the amount of time it would take them to produce enough fissile material for one weapon, had been pushed past a year. Now, according to public reports, it's 3 to 4 months, and potentially getting shorter and shorter as, and if they continue to take steps to turn on aspects of their program that the JCPOA turned off. So I think we have an interest in getting Iran back into that nuclear box. We have fundamental problems with Iran's actions across a whole series of things, whether it is support for terrorism, whether it's a ballistic missile program that's increasingly dangerous, whether it's destabilizing actions throughout the region. An Iran with a nuclear weapon or with the threshold capacity to have one is an Iran that's likely to act with even greater impunity.
In light of the assertions by Secretary Blinken, the Biden administration remains convinced that the best and most sustainable way to thwart the Ayatollah regime's path to a nuclear bomb is by means of tough-minded diplomacy, with the aim of reinvigorating the JCPOA that would then be used as a platform to, quote, lengthen and strengthen the deal for the purpose of addressing a broad range of issues. With that being said, thus far, Iran's recent refusal to attend an EU-initiated meeting with the aim of re-engaging in long-stalled diplomacy has allowed the Islamic Republic to advance its nuclear program with limited international scrutiny. It is important to highlight, according to the latest statement by the European Union Foreign Affairs and Security Policy spokesperson, that the High Representative, Josep Borrell, continues to hold regular contact with all relevant parties to the 2015 nuclear agreement. Nevertheless, the Islamic Republic has maintained its determined position not to engage in dialogue unless the United States removes all sanctions that were imposed on the Ayatollah regime as part of the Trump administration's maximum pressure campaign.
The High Representative and colleagues are working hard in order to achieve the situation when we get the nuclear deal back on track, and we are in intense and regular contacts with all the relevant partners on this.
Returning briefly to the Senate's Foreign Affairs Committee, during which Secretary of State Blinken also addressed the United States policy vis-à-vis the Eastern Mediterranean in general and Turkey in particular.
It is very important that the United States stand up for and be engaged in advancing the stability and sovereignty and territorial integrity of all parties in the Eastern Med, and insist that any disputes that arise are resolved peacefully, diplomatically, not militarily, and certainly not through provocative actions. We have called out actions, including by Turkey, that, in our judgment, violate international law or commitments as a NATO ally in the case of the S-400s. And that includes provocative actions against Greece, like violations of airspace, threats of force, etc. Now, I think one of the positive developments has been in recent weeks a significant diminution in the temperature on those issues, with Turkey engaged with the European Union and others to try to move forward in a more productive way. So we're very supportive of that, and we'll continue to try to help things advance in that direction.
Turning to Turkey, where a groundbreaking ceremony for the Turkish Akkuyu nuclear plant was held yesterday, with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin attending remotely. Addressing the ceremony, President Putin, whose country constructs the nuclear plant for Turkey, emphasized the deepening of relations between Moscow and Ankara.
Хочу также поблагодарить всех участников строительства АЭС Аккую и еще раз выразить уверенность, что успешная реализация этого, без преувеличения, флагманского проекта не только позволит вывести на качественно новый уровень двустороннее сотрудничество в энергетике, но и в целом будет способствовать дальнейшему продвижению многопланового российско-турецкого партнерства, содействовать укреплению дружбы и взаимопонимания между народами наших стран.
President Erdogan, for his part, highlighted the significance of the Akkuyu nuclear installation for Turkey, which, according to schedule, will commence operations in 2023, when Ankara will celebrate the centennial year of the Republic's foundation.
Akkuyu nükleer güç santralimizin ilk reaktörünü 2023 yılında devreye almayı hedefliyoruz. Toplam 4 reaktörden oluşacak bu santralin diğer reaktörlerinin de peyderpey üretime geçmesi için gece gündüz çalışacağız. Cumhuriyetimizin 100. yılında Türkiye'yi nükleer enerji sahibi ülkeler ligine katacağız. Yıllık 35 milyar kilowatt saat elektrik üreterek ihtiyacımızın yaklaşık %10'unu karşılayacaktır. Akkuyu nükleer güç santralimizi en ileri düzeyde güvenlik sistemleriyle donatıyor, uluslararası Atom Enerjisi Ajansı standartlarına uygunluğuna mutlaka dikkat ediyor.
It is worth mentioning that the ceremony was held a day prior to a trilateral meeting on Syria, which was held in the Qatari capital Doha between the foreign ministers of Russia, Turkey, and Qatar. Prior to that meeting, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov conducted a regional tour, during which he visited a number of Arab states, including the United Arab Emirates and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The tour seemingly aimed at deepening Moscow's regional involvement, and as in the case of Turkey, possibly assist Saudi Arabia in turning nuclear for civilian purposes.
Отфиксировали наличие значительного потенциала для реализации перспективных проектов в таких областях, как освоение космоса и атомная энергетика. Условились активизировать совместные шаги, направленные на совершенствование договорно-правовой базы наших отношений, в том числе с тем, чтобы создавать более благоприятные условия для бизнеса.
Thank you for watching us. As part of TV7 Israel's prayer initiative, I would like to encourage you today to join myself and the team here in Jerusalem to lift up Russia once again in prayer for its salvation and peace, alongside prayers for our persecuted brothers and sisters around the world, in addition to our ongoing prayers, of course, for the peace of Jerusalem, the salvation of Israel, and for all those who are impacted by the corona contagion and its numerous ramifications worldwide. I'm Jonathan Hassan, wishing you an Erev Tov U'Mevorach, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.